rowdy in here. We're not used to being in the airport. This is a nice change of events. All right. Welcome, everybody. I'll get my stuff in order here. Welcome to the October 15th Planning Commission workshop. I will call this meeting to order and determine if we have a quorum, which we do. Fantastic. Do we have any public comments?
No, ma'am.
Oh, you're so weird. You're over here. Hi. I was like, where is she? Okay, no public comments. Next up, approve the minutes of the October 1st Planning Commission meeting. Can I please get a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Beautiful. Ms. Jaco, please call the roll.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Prince.
Aye.
Mr. Rollins.
Aye.
Mr. Wright.
Aye.
Chair, Vice Chair Abelwater.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, next up is the consent agenda. Are there any items on the consent agenda that the commissioners wish to remove for further discussion? If not, I'll accept a motion.
Move for approval. Second.
Motion and a second. Ms. Jaco, please call the roll.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Prince. Aye. Mr. Rollins.
Aye.
Mr. Wright.
Aye.
Vice Chair Abelwater.
Abstain. All right, next up, we have, oh, beautiful. We're going to make a slight rearrangement of the numbers here. If we could move other business item 8B to our next item on the agenda, and then after that, we'll go into item 6, plats and plans. I think Mr. Barbary has a presentation on Mr. Pradip Agnihotri's development. Hi, Brad.
Good afternoon. It's good to see everybody here. This application before you is a request to change an exterior building material and some of the colors from what was initially approved. Planning Commission previously saw this site plan and building architecture during the initial site plan review and final design review. Architecture was approved January 15th of this year. Since that time, the design team has started putting their packages together for price estimation and lead times, and discovered that the the proposed decorative stone on the exterior of the building has a lead time that takes them outside of their current construction window. The request before you today is basically to change from the cast stone that you can see in the images. It was a base. It was also put in as a water table and other accent areas to be replaced with what is called out as brick 1 and brick 2. The majority of it is brick number 2 on your elevations, and I unfortunately can't see what you're looking at, so
If I may, I have samples here.
oh, there's Lydia. Thank you so much. With the design team, Lydia is with us this morning. She's the architect for the project. All of the materials are going to remain the same. I've reviewed the plan as far as the change in colors and materials. That's something the Planning Commission will need to discuss. However, it does meet the intent of the Murfreesboro Design Guidelines and the Murfreesboro Zoning Ordinance.
Okay. Thank you, Brad. I'm going to pass these around. That's okay. I think the applicant's representative just told me that the small one is the old, right, Brad? And
That's
then
correct.
the design, the sample board is the new.
New.
So, and it looks like it's just two different colors.
The material goes from a cast stone to a brick, and then the color, of course, will change to what you have before you.
Is that fine?
Yeah.
You know this stuff better than I do. Okay. Gonna lie. Clearly need to exercise more. Can't lift that. Pass that around. So, Mr. Barber, you're needing a motion from us, an approval for this change in exterior materials,
Yes, Chair.
right? And you're okay with the change, Mr. Barber?
The materials are consistent with the design guidelines and the design overlay where the property is located on Robert Rose Drive. I don't see any issues with it compliance-wise. It was
Okay.
enough of a change, we felt that Planning Commission should at least have an opportunity to take a look at it, make sure they were comfortable with the change as well.
Okay, great. Anything from the Planning Commission?
For approval, subject to all staff comments.
Second.
All right, motion and a second. Ms. Jaco, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Carroll. Aye. Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Prince. Mr. Rollins.
Aye.
Mr. Wright.
Aye.
Vice Chair Overwater.
Aye. Hey, Mr. Barbie, before you sit down, will you please hand me that Wi-Fi password thing? I can't read that from here. Yeah,
Your camera is impeccable. I can't really.
ironically, I was going to text you and ask for it, and I said, Sean can't see that.
I got it. He did it on his
You
camera.
did?
Yeah, my camera couldn't see it.
Respect my
All right,
authority.
anybody else need Wi-Fi password? Okay, beautiful. Thank you, Mr. Barbie. All right. All right, we will go back to Section 6, Review of Plats and Plans. First up, we have the WeGo Public Transit MTA Park and Ride Site Plan for a parking lot on .73 acres with proposed PND zoning located along Bridge Avenue. WeGo Public Transit is the developer. Ms. Smith.
Good afternoon, Chair Overwater. You may recall at your, I think it was last meeting, this particular site we did discuss because it's also up for a rezone to tie into the city's transit center that just recently opened up on Bridge Avenue at the location shown here on site. Previously, when we started the project, there was a church next door, but over the last 2 years during construction, city transportation folks have been coordinating with WeGo Transit for a park and ride facility. They have been underway in this particular site. The current church is already demolished on the site. And if we can go to the site plan page, there we go, the master plan page, you'll see the transportation layout for the bus service center and then that new site. Currently, the site has 2 access points onto Bridge Avenue. TDOT will require that one of those be closed, so you'll notice a right-in, right-out at the street right-of-way. And then on this particular project site, it will have pedestrian connectivity along that westerly side of the property, and our zone change actually request an exception to our perimeter planting yard along that portion because that sidewalk will just about be at the property line. And they're also looking at higher levels of lighting along that area because to get at .5, you need to get about 10 feet away from the property line. So those are moving forward and have been scheduled for a December City Council public hearing. So as we're looking at the project today, its final approval is really going to be pending, and we will need to include in the motion that City Council approves that zone change. Of entrance on the top side is that we are including a small right-of-way dedication, so in the future, should we want to extend that right turn lane that allows you to go southbound towards the I-24, that could be extended back, but as it is today, there are many utilities in the way that have pre-existed before we started our transit center facility, but we do want to retain that ability in the long run. And then lastly, on this site, we did look at it with our entire city team as well as police department to make sure that the lighting locations, landscaping locations, fencing, gating, and there are 2 security cameras being incorporated onto this site, really take a holistic approach and view for it. And then lastly, you'll notice on the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, there is a sidewalk that has already been constructed from our transit facility up to this particular site. And we are looking at coordinating the gating and the fencing so that they can go straight from the park and ride site, which has ADA parking to the south, and then over to where the main structure is for that particular site. So with that, we're saying that this is generally in good order, consistent with the zone change. Those components in this site plan are also being incorporated into the plan development book that is going to City Council because we were still working through the site plan specifics. So we will be bringing those changes incorporated to council. If there's any questions, more than happy to answer them, and I don't. There's Kia from the WeGo folks is here in the audience, should you also have any questions for her. But I believe their timing is as soon as we'll let them go, they are ready to start, they're ready to start constructing.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Smith. Planning commissioners, are there any questions, comments, concerns for the transit plat?
If there are none, I'll make a motion to move for approval subject to staff comments.
Motion and a second. Ms. Jaco, please call the roll.
If you can amend that and just say, provided the city council approves the zone change. Without the zone change, this use is not allowed on this site.
That's great, Ms. Smith.
Provided city council's approval for the zoning change.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second. Ms. Jaco, please call the roll.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Prince. Mr. Rollins. Mr. Wright.
Aye.
Vice Chair Averwater.
Aye. Thank you. Okay, up next, number 6B, Project Keystone, final plat for 4 lots on 8.77 acres zoned PUD, CBD, and CCO along Northwest Broad Street and South Church Street. City of Murfreesboro is the developer. Ms. Smith.
Thank you again, Chair Averwater. This particular screenshot does show you how complicated this particular site is, but staff wanted to make sure you knew a portion of the site is zoned CBD, a portion of the site is zoned PUD, and there are 8 total parcels involved that is looking at re-subdividing into 4 parcels. These are basically tied to a lot of the activities done by the City Council, development agreements, purchase and sales agreements, and the like. And as we were looking at this particular one, there are many, many utilities that exist. Some will be removed, relocated, abandoned, and we want the ability to fully be able to ebb and flow as the project moves forward. So what staff has looked at doing is, in our staff comments, first and foremost, adding language to the final plat regarding multiple utilities that actually is identical to what is in those moving forward agreements with the council, so that we make sure that in good faith effort, as those are determined, that they will be identified on a map. But this particular map that you're looking at here identifies existing utility easements, sewer, drainage, water, that are all in place today. So if any of those are taken out in the future, they will have to come back for a mandatory referral in that particular project as well. There are other things, right-of-way dedications, that are included in this particular drawing. So if you'll notice up at the top at South Church, they're looking at having it to where right-of-way will be at 79 feet, and it will get to 84 feet towards the front of the street right-of-way. And if we can go to the next slide. It's a little bit easier to see. Aha. So this shows the approved Keystone project and the lane configurations that have been moving forward with all of the city projects and plans. You can see the improvements there at the intersection of Church and Broad Street, and then as well over at Vine and Broad Street. So that involves right-of-way dedications on both of those streets to be able to accommodate those lane configurations. The other thing that of special note is you can see where it says future hotel, you can see underneath it the old MWR water bill payment building. When we create final plats, generally you don't have a building straddling over those property lines. So in talking internally with staff, we believe that we can modify the staff comments of number 7 that talks about therefore demolishing the building, that we would add to that text, and therefore will need to be demolished or other remedy as determined by planning and legal. that's put in place for that. So there are a couple of different options that we have not explored that might include easements or something else. Again, it's not fully formed, but all of the agreements basically say as they're purchasing property, at some point, they will demolish it and have that future hotel site as a pad, meaning a pad ready. It's just the question of timing, who's doing it. But my understanding is that they need to record the parcel map in order to transfer that ownership and even start work on the project site. And so that's why we want to make sure that Darren and the council and our legal team have full ability to have input on that particular component. The other thing, as city staff looked at it, if you look at the Vine Street entrance, our current entrance is a 2-lane, but then as it comes into the parking structure, it's a 1-way inbound. The project has always looked at expanding that to a 2-way to allow inbound and outbound from P2 of the parking structure. So we're going to need that easement to come further into the site because ultimately we'll be demolishing a portion of that screening wall that you see between the drive and the building. So that's contained in item number 6 of the staff comments. And then item number 5 of the staff comments, again in that same area, you'll notice where the green line is the proposed property line, which at some point, we're going to have an updated survey so that all the boundary lines are confirmed that we're giving what we're selling. But it looks like a portion of P1 structure is actually in that area that goes into the Lot 4 area, so that also may need to be adjusted, and that is contained in footnote number 5. And then last but not least, number 2, in looking at the language, it talks about access. We have noticed a lot of the right-of-way dedications have it to where the sidewalk is partially in the right-of-way, new right-of-way, and part of it is on private property. So we would just need to have a pedestrian access easement and not just a PUE. So there's a 10-foot PUE behind those rights-of-way, and then along Broad Street, they're looking at a 26 feet PUE, and that will allow us to keep the sewer in place and give 15 feet of access on the north side of it should we ever need to tear it apart. So based on those comments that are in the staff report, again, number 2, we would propose just adding that additional language about pedestrian and vehicle access, not just access. And then in number 7, adding that language about another remedy determined by planning or legal regarding the demolition of that building. Of course, Darren Gore is probably the most knowledgeable about the Keystone project, and I believe Matt Taylor is also here from SCC should you have any questions or comments, but staff recommends approval of this. And again, subject to the staff comments and may be further refined through purchase and sales and development agreements, which is obvious, but we wanted to make sure that was captured here.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Smith. Planning Commissioners, anything on the Keystone final plat? Thoughts, comments, concerns? If you're going to make a motion, please make it subject to staff comments and also contingent on approval.
Refined through purchase and sales and development agreements.
What she said.
There are none. I'll make a motion to approve, subject to staff comments and repeat that for me. One more time.
As subject to staff comments and may be further refined through purchase and sales and development agreements.
That right there.
Second.
Teamwork. Ms. Jaco, please call the roll.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. France.
Aye.
Mr. Rollins.
Aye.
Mr. Wright.
Aye.
Vice Chair Ava Water.
Aye. All right. Next up, we're moving on to new business. We have a zoning application for approximately 9.6 acres located north of Asher's Fork Drive to be rezoned from RS6 to RSA2. O'Brien Lloyd Venture is the applicant. Mr. Donovan.
Thank you, Chair Overwater. The 9.6 acres we're looking at today is currently vacant and located south of New Salem Highway, but north of Asher Fork Drive. The property is being requested to be rezoned from the residential single-family with a 6,000 square foot lot minimum to a single-family residential attached district suburban type. As far as the adjacent land uses and zoning around it, just to the north of this property is zoned, but south of New Salem Highway is part of the larger parcel that the rezoning is occurring on, but zone CF and going to remain CF. Just to the east is single-family detached residential within the unincorporated county, and that is zoned medium-density residential. To the south, north of Asher's Fork Drive is zoned RS6 and to be developed as part of the Waits Creek Crossing subdivision. Further to the south is the remainder of Waits Creek, which is developed as single-family attached with 2-unit buildings, and then single-family detached 1-family buildings. And that's in the larger portion that's already developed of Waits Creek Crossing. Directly to the west is a PCD that includes the Creekside at Three Rivers Assisted Living Facility and some CH zoned property that is currently vacant as well. So the request is to rezone this to RSA Type 2, which allows permits by right single-family detached homes as well as single-family attached homes as a suburban townhome type. What that allows on is townhomes to be developed on either an individual lot of record or through an HPR plat. So they can be HPR or on their individual lots. As far as the future land use plan, it identifies this site as auto urban residential, which looks for 4 to 12 units, dwelling units per acre, and recommends RS10 through RS6 zoning districts, RSA 1 through 3 districts, as well as RD, PRD, and PUD. The AUR designation supports detached residential developments on lots of 4.1 acres or greater, as long as you have a maximum of 20% of the overall acreage being attached residential units and a maximum of 40% of the overall units being attached residential structures. Mr. Blomley, if you can pull up the table that's on the page above, I believe. So I broke this down in 3 scenarios, looking at just the area north of Asher Creek or Asher Fork Drive, as far as whether it complies with the 20% for acreage and 40% for overall units. I looked for that portion that's between New Salem Highway and Asher Fork Drive. The portions of Waits Creek that are the auto urban residential, and then the entire Waits Creek crossing subdivision and how it aligns with each of those. You'll notice the total development is 29.2% of the acreage being devoted to attached single-family or detached, attached single-family units, sorry, and then 41.5% of the units are attached units. You can see that when you look at just the AUR designation, the 23 is a little closer to that 20% we're looking for, and then the number of units total is at 38%, so we're under that 40%. We did this based on the applicant provided us some expected yields. They're looking to get at least 49 attached single-family units in the portion that is north of Asher Fork Drive, as well as 26 single-family detached units in the area that they are going to remain with RS6 zoning. So There's some places that don't meet those percentages that are called out for AUR. They're close depending on which of the three you look at it. But one thing to note is if you look at the overall units per acre, they're at 4.8, 3.7, and 4.9. So they're either in the 4 to 12 units an acre or below that. Planning Commission will need to evaluate the request and determine if whether or not a deviation from the attached home criteria is supported when the density range is met. Planning Commission will need to discuss the rezoning request and schedule a public hearing. Staff is recommending the Planning Commission schedule the public hearing for November 5th. I'm happy to answer any questions, and Mr. Clyde Roundtree, who's representing the applicant, is here as well.
Great, thank you, Mr. Donovan. All right. Does the applicant feel inclined? No? You good? Okay. Anything from council, any thoughts, concerns? You said good, yeah. Clyde will always opt out. We're setting this for a public hearing November 5th, if council so wishes. Any thoughts, questions, concerns on the project?
Move to set the public
Council
hearing for
Commission.
November 5th.
Second.
I really can't get my, what board, where am I at right now? Is this planning commission or city council? Planning commission. I heard a motion, and I think I heard a second to set this for November 5th. Ms. Jaco, please call the roll.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Prince. Mr. Rollins.
Aye.
Mr. Wright. Vice Chair Overwater.
Aye. All right, we'll see that on November 5th. Next up, annexation petition and plan of services for approximately 6.41 acres located along Majesty Drive and Cicero Drive. Zayavong and Panola Sinfanisiri are the applicants. And Mr. Donovan, you're presenting this as well, and you're wanting to set this for a public hearing on December 3rd.
That's correct. Thank you, Chair Overwater. So the annexation area that we're looking at today consists of one approximately 6.4 acre vacant parcel at the end of Majesty Drive and Cicero Drive. So this has a companion rezoning that we will look at next to rezone the property to RS6, residential single family with a 6,000 square foot lot minimum designation simultaneously with annexation. And Mr. Blomley, if you can pull up the concept plan that they've provided to us. They're looking at about 17 lots potentially here. Just kind of as a reminder, this isn't necessarily binding. We could see this change based on the bulk zoning requirements moving forward. So this is within the city's urban growth boundary. It is contiguous to the existing city limits on both the south and eastern boundary, or on the south and northwestern boundary of the properties. It is also within our service infill line that's identified in the future, or in the comprehensive plan. Staff is currently also working with all departments to formulate a plan of services for the proposed annexation. We'll actually have a draft of that plan of services available for you at the public hearing. Planning Commission will need to discuss this annexation petition and plan of service and schedule it for a public hearing. Staff is recommending December 3rd.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Donovan. Seeing no more applicants in the audience, or nothing from the applicant?
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Taylor with SEC is
Okay.
actually representing the applicant
Nothing?
here.
No? Pulling a Clyde today?
Move to set the public hearing for December 3rd.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Ms. Jacobs, please call the roll.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Harris. Mr. Prince.
Aye.
Mr. Rollins. Mr. Wright. Vice Chair Overwater.
Aye, thank you. All right, next up, we have a zoning application for 6.41 acres located along Majesty Drive and Cicero Drive, same property that we just discussed, to be zoned RS6 simultaneous with annexation. Mr. Donovan.
Thank you again, Chair Overwater. So this is the companion rezoning request to RS6. Just some further detail on what the RS6 will allow is a 6,000 square foot lot minimum, 50-foot minimum lot widths with setbacks of 35-foot front, 20-foot rear, and 5 foot on the sides. We also have some provisions that limit maximum lot coverage to 50%, and then because of the setbacks between these, and we have a requirement where these will be brick and stone due to some fire rating standards that are included in the zoning code. This is also the same lot that they're looking at doing the 17 units. As far as surrounding property uses and zoning, to the north across Interstate 840 is the Shelton Square PRD, which is single-family detached residential. Also along the northern property line, it borders Unity Free Will Baptist Church, which is in the unincorporated county and zoned RM, medium-density residential. To the east is Royal Court, which is also in the county and zoned the same medium-density residential as the church to the north was. To the south is Blackman Village, which is zoned PRD and is a single-family detached residential neighborhood that is done through an HPR. And then to the immediate west is Blackman United Methodist Church, which is located on RM zoned land in the unincorporated county. As far as our future land use plan in the comprehensive plan here, it identifies the site as Business Park, which is really looking for more of office-type developments. Through some discussion, staffs believe that this business park designation may be an unintentional carryover from the prior future land use plan that also identified the Blackman Village site to the south as Business Park. Staff believes this may be an opportunity to use the transition policy to allow some flexibility when existing development patterns support the expansion of land use boundaries. So maybe that AUR to the south being extended north to this site, and that would permit the RS6 designation that is there. Planning Commission will need to discuss whether it's an appropriate application of the transition policy to extend the AUR designation to the north. Planning Commission will need to discuss the rezoning request and schedule it for a public hearing. Staff recommends the Planning Commission schedule the public hearing for December 3rd, and I'm happy to answer any questions, and Mr. Taylor is here representing the applicant.
All right, thank you, Mr. Donovan. All right. Planning Commission, thoughts, concerns? If not, I will accept a motion to set this public hearing for December the 3rd.
Move to set the public hearing December 3rd.
Motion and a second. Ms. Jacob, please call the roll.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Prince.
Aye.
Mr. Rollins. Aye. Mr. Wright.
Aye.
Vice Chair Overwater.
Aye. I sure do hope Mr. Halliburton's back by December the 3rd. Ooh, I suspect we'll have some homeowners with that one. Annexation petition, okay, next up, 7D, annexation petition and plan of services for approximately 10.3 acres located along Elam Road, including approximately 1,200 linear feet of Elam Road right-of-way. Kentucky Tennessee Conference Association of Seventh-day Adventists, Inc., and the City of Murfreesboro are the applicants. Ms. Smith, you are wanting to set a public hearing for December 3rd.
Yes, ma'am. So you can see in the aerial here, the existing project site location. It involves two properties that are owned by the Seventh-day Adventists. The smaller skinny portion, thank you, is owned by the City of Murfreesboro, and then Elam Road section is within the county right-of-way and is a gap between where we actually have annexed property already along Elam Elam to the north and to the south. This particular project has been taken to the Rutherford County Commission and was reviewed, and they had consented, should the city want to annex this section of Elam Road, to do so, first and foremost. This particular area is within our urban growth boundary as well as our infill service area. In addition, it is contiguous to city limits on the north, east, and southerly boundaries as far as the Seventh-day Adventists, but the area in the large block to the south of the blue is actually outside city currently, but there has been talk back and forth whether that would be developed at some point in the future, as well as the small little house that is in back of the church property that does not want to annex into the city limits at this particular point in time. If we're going to the next page, if we can go to the land use map, I think it's up right behind the, there we go. From this particular area, you can see that the land use map designates a good portion of the area as public institutional and does not designate that thin area. Over time, the city has been working on multiple circulation connection projects that we hope to, at some point, be able to connect Distribution Drive over to Elam Road, because if you go to Elam Road at Joby Jackson, there is no signalized intersection there. And if you take this section of Elam Road all the way back up to Manchester Pike, again, there is no signalization at that particular point. And looking at our major transportation plan, we are looking at Elam Farms Parkway being extended out to Manchester Pike. The current Manchester Farms apartment projects is building a section of it, and in the near future, we anticipate bringing another annexation to you that would connect that other component of Elam. So the benefit to the city of this particular parcel, because it is both a church site and it is a current church school site as well within the county. They're wanting to annex for the purposes of sewer. Sewer has looked at it to initially determine there is enough capacity to serve them currently and in the future. Staff is, though, working for that plan of services that we will bring before the public hearing on this particular item. But in the benefits for the city, we're hoping that this particular piece will be able to help meet our long-term goals of those various circulation components to distribute the traffic to signalized intersections. So with that, if there's any questions you have on it, we're looking at wanting to set the public hearing for December 3rd. There has not been any concurrent submittal of a rezone request, so this would be looking at a standard RS-15 zone district to come into the city for this project and not a separate rezone. So with that, any questions you may have? I do not see the applicant in the room, but I don't think I've met them face to face, other than, of course, the city for our portion.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Smith. Planning Commission? Questions, concerns? If not, I'll accept a motion to set this public hearing for December 3rd.
Motion to set the public hearing for December 3rd.
Motion and a second. Ms. Jacob, please call the roll.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Prince.
Aye.
Mr. Rollins.
Aye.
Mr. Wright.
Aye.
Vice Chair Overwater.
Aye.
Thank you, Commission.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Okay, we still have one item for staff reports and other business. We've done B, now we're going to do A. It is the monthly update from Mr. Van Newman.
Thank you, Chair Everwater. And I know we have another meeting coming up and may need a break, so I'll be brief. I do think it is always good to give an update to the Planning Commission just to know what's going on and what we're doing. So start with a little bit of staffing. So as you know, we've been looking for an additional landscape zoning inspector. We've had one for the last several years, and pleased to say that we have hired another landscape zoning inspector. He started last week. Eddie Smotherman is getting him oriented to his responsibilities, so they're riding around town together and really getting things figured out. So that's going really well so far, and his name is Chase Payson. He'll be a very good addition to our staff, and we're very happy that he's here. As you know, we've also been searching for a planner to fill up the 3 planner slots that we have. And so we have hired Stephen Anthony to fill that position. And Stephen, again, will be another great addition to our team. And just a point of interest, Mr. Anthony's father was the planning director here for a number of years, Donald Anthony. And so he has a little bit of connection to this. He grew up hearing all about planning and what it is. So it's good to have Stephen on board as well. And then just lastly, talking about I'll go over the 2 projects where we are. Cherry Lane study is still moving forward and is still on schedule. So I know that's very good to hear. That's planned to be presented to council in January next year, so still moving forward with that. We've been going over future land use, what that looks like for that approximately 1,800 acres along the Cherry Lane corridor, future Cherry Lane corridor. So we're seeing what some of that future land use is developing out at, and pleased with that. Also, we're still and continue to work on the design guideline updates. Those are still moving forward and on track, and we expect to have those done. I think we may have 2 more meetings with that stakeholder group, and then we'll continue working to get some sort of amendment before this body for that. So that's my update. Appreciate your attention, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Newman. I appreciate that. And anything else? Seeing no other business, we stand adjourned from this meeting.